Welcome, everyone. Call our meeting to order, and if you could please stand and join us with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
of the United States of America and to the republic for liberty and justice.
Welcome, everybody. As you know by now, I like to start the meeting and recognize members of our ACHD team. And today I have the distinct pleasure of acknowledging two very special members. We're talking about the WTS award winners. And if I could have Miss Christy Little, please stand up. She is the recipient of the ACHD 2019 WTS Woman of the Year, and we're very proud of her and very, very lucky to have her here with us. Also, if I could ask you to please help me recognize and congratulate Ms. Kathleen Godfrey. She is the recipient of the ACHD 2019 WTS Member of the Year. Congratulations. ACHD is also the recipient of the 2019 WTS Employer of the Year. So congratulations to the team. And also ACHD will be receiving the Innovative Transportation Solution Award from WTS for State Street and Collister. I believe the design work was in conjunction with HDR. And so if we could just give another round of applause for our extraordinary team here at ACHD. They keep us going, so very, very appreciative of all that they do. And congratulations again to Christy and to Kathleen. So our first business item is to adopt our agenda. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, next to our consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a commissioner or citizen so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular agenda. All consent agenda items are commission action items unless noted. Do we have a motion?
Yes, I'll move to accept the consent agenda as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 On to our regular agenda. All regular agenda items are commission action items unless noted. So we will welcome Ms. Christine Tandler, and she will be presenting the FY20 first quarter impact fee loan balance.
Oh,
And we are ready when you are.
hang on. Sorry, I opened the wrong one. I don't. It's not here. My PowerPoint's not here.
Okay. Did you put a different folder?
Oh, I just used it yesterday. That means I sent Commissioner Baker the wrong one. Oh, just kidding. It's right here. Whew. All right. I apologize for the delay.
No worries.
Madam President, Commissioners, for the record, Christine Tandler, Budget Coordinator, here to present the first quarter of FY 2020 loan balance for the Impact Fee Loan Program. Again, this is just an informational briefing. We began the fiscal year at $7.8 million. We're ending the first quarter with a balance of just $2.9 million in the Impact Fee Loan Program. To date, the main impact fee projects are the final payments that have been out on the Cole and Franklin, both the road, both intersections and the bridge. Cole Victory Road, to date, we've only spent $200,000, but that is a big impact fee eligible project that's this year that's underway right now, so we will see those costs increasing as well. On the extraordinary impact fee loan balance, we started with a balance of 1.4 million, 1.47, and are at about 1.6 million in that account right now. And in accordance with the amended ordinance from last January, 231A, Resolution 2270, staff reports a general fund loan of $2.9 million to the impact fee program. Stand for questions.
Commissioners, any questions for Christine? Thank you very much. And the next item is the FY20 first budget adjustments. And this would be a request for approval.
So again, for the record, Christine Tandler, Budget Coordinator, here to present the first budget adjustments for FY 2020. On the expenditure side, we began the budget, and these proposed adjustments are balanced. We are proposing a balanced budget at $140 million. We began the year with $123.4 million, about $5 million of encumbrances, of which most has been spent to date. The operational and capital expenditure adjustments, you can see at $6.3 million and just nearly $5 million for capital, and I'll go into those more details in the next slides. Again, the proposed expenditure budget of about $140 million. The operational adjustments, we just had about $150,000 related to encumbrances from FY19. We did have land purchases of $4.7 million. Maintenance adjustments in the first adjustments are just under $1.2 million of that, the largest one being Bogus Basin Road repairs. These are this is an inlet repair around mile marker 9 or 10, I believe. Also includes putting fire suppression in at both of our shops, as well as a generator at the TMC, and a bucket truck that will be arriving in February. The $320,000 reduction is because we're just going to return some pieces of equipment and release them rather than buy them out. On the IT software and hardware adjustments, these are just some miscellaneous adjustments related to our records management, sorry, that was not coming to me. About $100,000 related to records management, a couple new softwares, both for traffic engineering and then as well as some cybersecurity and VPN, Citrix software. The miscellaneous operational adjustments reduction of $53,000 is just a bunch of up and down miscellaneous adjustments from various accounts, giving the proposed operational budget just under $67 million. On the capital side, we had most of the encumbrances were on the capital side, majority of those being in construction, and again, most of those have been spent. To date on the capital side, we have $2.6 million proposed for commission directive projects. When the commission approved the Meridian Charity Use Stick construction contract, we had noted there would be an adjustment of $847,000. There's a portion of that will be shown in the revenue for cost share related to the City of Meridian water and sewer work. The Cloverdale Road, Columbia to Overland, this is a right-of-way preservation project. In preparation, Idaho Power is working to move some of their transmission lines. If we can acquire the necessary right-of-way, they will move those lines to the ultimate placement rather than move them and then us have to pay to have them moved as the roads are widened out there. The construction of Gowan Road Bridge that's underway right now needed an additional $300,000. There was some right-of-way budget for Gowan Road Bridge 2110, which is the first of our large bridges coming up to be constructed. That because of how the design was done in the MSC walls, we're not requiring as much right-of-way to be purchased. Proposing a capital budget of $70 million. On the revenue side, again, we do propose a balanced budget. We show a utilization of $4.1 million, the bulk of that going for the land purchases that were not known at budget time. We have increases to highway users fund, impact fees and registration fees, as well as state sales tax and interest revenue. have project-related adjustments, so those federal aid adjustments and cost share adjustments, those were also, would have had an offset amount in the capital budget adjustments, because those are all expense-related. So as you can see, we have a beginning budget of $124 million, proposed to increase to just under $140 million. Staff recommends approval of the first adjustments as outlined in the staff report.
Thank you, Christine.
Thanks.
Commissioners, any questions?
Madam President?
Commissioner Baker?
Yes, I just had a question regarding the revenue side adjustments, the Highway Users Fund and the registration fees. Are those going to be carrying over from year to year? Or is this just a one-time thing in your estimation, Christine?
My anticipation is that as I begin to work on revenue adjustments and the revenue preparation for both the budget integrated 5-year work plan and the CIP, that we will see some increases of Highway Users Fund going forward. We had a pretty big third and fourth quarter payments received late last year that brought up what the 3 or 4 year average is in Highway Users Fund. And then registration fees also has steadily been increasing. We just probably a little of the accountant in me is just a little conservative sometimes, but the Highway Users Fund adjustment, I'm pretty confident in that. So we should.
Yeah, I would imagine with all the growth that we're seeing and all the new cars on the road, you would see an increase in registration fees and also the gas tax. So, okay.
Thank you. Any other questions? No? Thank you, Christine.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioners, you have a request for approval before you. Is there a motion?
Yes, Madam President, I would move that we approve the fiscal year 2020 first year budget adjustment.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you, Christine. Our next item on our agenda is to award construction bid for McMillan Road, Westview Drive to Maple Grove Road. And this is a request for approval. And we will turn to Mr. Jarsky.
Thank you,
ready.
President May. Okay, everybody hear me okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, President May and Commissioners. I'm Seth Jarsky, Project Manager for the McMillan Road, Westview to Maple Grove project, which is on the agenda today as a bid award item. I'm here to present project background and construction bid results. The scope and purpose of the project is to install sidewalks and replace non-compliant pedestrian ramps on the north and south sides of McMillan Road and a PHB at Mitchell Street, which is located here, in an effort to improve access to the area. And the yellow lines essentially indicate the sidewalk locations or pedestrian ramps. The project was designed in fiscal year 17 and was originally programmed to be built in fiscal year 20, but it was delayed in fiscal year 18 due to budget considerations. The Commission approved construction of this project in fiscal year 20 with the adoption of the amended integrated 5-year work plan, which occurred on October 24th, 2019. Bids were opened on January 22nd of this year. The low-cost winning bid was approximately $740,000 from Compliance Solutions and Contracting. Staff recommends awarding the bid to Compliance and Solution Contracting with construction completion anticipated by the end of July. I will stand for questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions for Mr. Jarsky? Okay, thank you very much. We do have this before us, a request for approval. Is there a motion?
Yes, Madam President, I would move that we approve the request for the construction award.
Second.
Madam President?
Commissioner Baker?
Yes, I'm not going to vote for the motion. This project is in my district. I just want to point that out. And for years, I have been trying to get the gap in the sidewalk on the south side completed. We heard earlier from Ryan Head that there were 40 project requests for our gap projects this year, 21, I guess, of which were funded. There are 78 miles of gaps, of which we are only been able to accomplish 23. And of the 1,000 projects that are on our radar for this type of activity, only a quarter have been accomplished, and we need more money. I think it's ridiculous for us to do this project in its entirety. I think all we need to do is the south side. That would then free, and then maybe if you wanted to do, or even if we're not going to be constructing, we could still do the ADA stuff. That would free up a ton of money for us to do perhaps the other 20 project requests, the other 750 projects, the other, 50 miles of gaps out, or even use it to do matching for impact fees, which I know we have a problem with, or to do maintenance. I mean, we have so many needs and so many requests that to do something that's perfect when we could do good and have it be a wonderful addition to the area, to me is madness. To spend this money to get what we're getting here, I just can't see it. So I'm not going to be voting for the motion.
Okay, thank you very much, Commissioner Baker. Commissioner Goldthorpe.
Madam President, I didn't give enough thought to exactly what we were approving as described by Commissioner Baker, and I withdraw my motion.
Madam President, I would move to approve the construction bid as presented by staff.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second.
Just to comment,
Discussion.
we have discussed this, discussed this at length. Children are killed when they're crossing the road. We have more examples of children getting killed or hit when they're crossing the road. This is an area where there are children, and the opportunity to complete a sidewalk on the north side and a tiny piece on the south side is highly appropriate. And to not move forward on this as recommended, as we did, has been recommended for a number of years, would then be requiring children to cross the street at a number of points and put them in danger. I think it's very important that we recognize that the safety of pedestrians, whether we measure it or not, the safety of pedestrians is the purpose of this project. I'd also like to point out, I'm pleased, this is like the first project I've seen where it's come in under the engineer's estimates. So good job.
Thank you. I too will be supporting this project.
Madam President?
Just one moment, Commissioner Baker. I too will be supporting this project. I feel that we had a lengthy discussion, and I appreciate your comments. We did have it go out to bid. We've received those, and to Commissioner Commissioner Hansen's point, we did come in a bit under. So at this juncture, I don't see any real compelling reason not to go forward with this particular bid. So I will be supporting the motion.
Madam
Commissioner
President?
Baker.
There are gap projects where pedestrians and children reside all over the county that are going unfunded because we simply don't have the money.
Can I have a comment?
Commissioner Arnold.
Thank you. I will be supporting the motion as well. We have gone through a long public process on this. It's supported by the public. And I would also point out that we have also already spent the money for the design. And we have identified that there are safety issues there for pedestrians, including but not limited to children. So I will be supporting the motion.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, we have a motion before us. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Nay?
No.
Motion carries. Seth? Okay, next on our agenda is public communications. This is a time for members of the audience to come up if they have something they would like to discuss with the commission. Clancy? Just to remind you to please state your name and address for our record. Welcome.
Clancy Anderson, 1911 North 18th Street, Boise, 83702. President May and Commissioners, ACHD has a set of policies that guide the district and contractors in the day-to-day activities. These policies are important in protecting ACHD infrastructure and providing safe passage for anyone traversing the roads, sidewalks, bike lanes, and even alleys. One of the most important policies is the requirement to obtain a permit to use the ACHD right-of-way for both construction activities as well as safe access. Along with this permit, a temporary traffic control plan creates the on-site safety for construction workers while maintaining the access for the taxpayers. I am sure you're all aware of the timeline concerning the e-scooter crash in the Union Block Alley, including recent emails that I have sent to Director Wong. One of my biggest concerns appears to be the lack of right-of-way permit or traffic control plan prior to the crash, which has still not been provided as of today based on 3 entries in your permit site, eTrackIt, or in multiple emails from Director Wong in the past 2 weeks. So I was coming up with a few options why I think that's happened. Number 1 option, no right-of-way permit is needed since the work is being performed only on private property. Number 2, ACHD is just not following their policy. Number 3, ACHD has been advised by an attorney not to follow their own policy. Options 1 and 2 don't make sense since work is being done and there's been ample opportunity with good reason to enforce these policies. Option 3 seems the most realistic at this point, which is concerning for the safety of the citizens of Ada County. And I could be all wrong in all of this, so if I am, please direct staff to provide me with a copy of the right-of-way permit and the TC plan, traffic control plan for that particular project in the Union Block Alley. And if staff does not, or the attorney, I mean, there's ongoing potential litigation on this, there is a remedy for the commission under policy 6007.25 for the commission to direct enforcement of any right-of-way permit or traffic control plan. And it's a kind of a detailed plan, and the remedies are probably a little bit different. I don't know for sure, but I'm not a lawyer. But that is out there, so. I stand for any questions. Or
Thank you, Mr. Anderson.
I have a question.
Commissioner Arnold?
I'm sure you're aware that we cannot take any action during public communications. However, I do have a question for our staff. Is there work being performed in the public right-of-way, in our right-of-way and the Union Block Alley? Yes or no? Are they working in our right-of-way?
Mr. Inselman is coming up to answer our question.
Madam President, Commissioners, Gary Inselman, Deputy Director of Development and Technical Services. There is work in the Union Block Alley that has a permit issued. The work is being performed in a building, but they're accessing the building through the alley.
Okay, so they are working in their right-of-way and there is a permit that they have obtained, correct?
That's correct.
I'd like a copy of it.
is there a TC plan also? Sorry.
And is there a traffic control plan in connection with that permit?
Madam President, Commissioner Arnold, the traffic control plan is to close the alley, and they have approval for that when they're working in the alley. When they're not working in the alley, they open the alley back up. and
Except for the
so-
big hole that's in the alley.
That
So
is
there has to be a traffic
fenced
control
off.
plan in connection with that for both pedestrian and vehicular traffic, correct?
Madam President, Commissioner Arnold, the traffic control plan is for the closure of the alley. The work zone is fenced off when they're not there.
Okay, well, I'd like to see copies of those permits and the traffic control plan.
Could I get copies of those too?
Thank you, Mr. Inselman. Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Is there anyone else that would like to come up and address the commission? Seeing no one, we will stand adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.